All right, and welcome back to A Dash Reading. Today we got a special show for you. We're going to be reviewing the movie of the Last Picture Show that we talked about yesterday. Also, remember, this is a show where Dana and Dash are always right and Amber is always wrong.
You'll be
Oh my
hearing from my
goodness.
lawyers. You'll be hearing from my lawyers.
Yay,
Gotta be
lawyers are
contract
always
negotiations.
fun. And
Remember.
I have no idea what Dash of Reading Creators Corner episode 1E is. So I'm going to change that. Why don't you guys tell us what's going on with you today while I change that?
Went to see my grandma today.
Yeah.
Oh, how's she doing?
Not great.
Oh,
Oh.
She's 95 and she can't hear, and I think she's losing her sight, or maybe she's lost most of it. And you know, when you're 95, your taste buds don't work very well.
Yeah.
And so I was trying to give her lunch, and she said, "That's enough. I don't want any more."
You know, she's 95. I say let her eat what she wants.
So they offered her another cream orange shake, and she drank it right down.
Of
And I
course
said,
she did.
"There you go, Grandma. You got 2 today."
I love
So
that.
and I
That's how-
turned around and looked at the back, the label, and it was sugar, corn syrup, some other form of sugar.
Yeah.
Again,
And I was
she's
like,
95.
That's how
95, you can have what you want. And then we went to her room, and I found that someone had left her Valentine candy, which was unopened.
Uh-oh.
So I opened up this box that had 5 chocolates in it and set it in front of her, and she ate 3 of them.
There you
And I
go.
was like,
Nice,
Grandma.
Grandma.
"You go, girl."
That's how our Maymay she's 99, and yeah, she's kind of just
Yeah.
we just go
Whatever you
go play
want.
your bingo and eat your Snickers and your Reese's peanut butter cups and be happy, and she does. Yeah.
Whatever you want to do.
That's the kind of attitude I have at 52, friends. So
Then when you get to 90, you're going to really rock it.
Oh,
it's going to be great.
if I make it to 70, then I will feel that. If I make it to 70, we'll feel that way. But that's awesome. Amber, how are you today?
I'm good. I had an appointment today. In 2 weeks, I start my radiation treatment. And so today's appointment was wild because they have to map my body
Mhm.
to make sure that they're only zapping where the cancer was. And I'm saying was because I've been told I'm disease free now. So they have. It's just weird because they don't want to hit like my lungs, or he's like, it's a good thing it's on your right side. I don't have to worry about your heart. And I'm like trying not to panic. But so I've got all these kind of crazy lines and stickers that I somehow have to keep on my body for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But that was a wild appointment.
I
can
bet.
imagine.
Get that off my bucket list.
We just keep praying and we keep
Thank you.
hoping for the best. And
Yes.
Yeah. Thanks.
so
Get
yeah,
behind you and be done with it.
Like I said, they've
Absolutely.
told me I am disease free. We're just preventative now. We're trying to keep the cancer from coming back. So
word.
I'll do it.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
we wish you luck, and we'll be
Thank you.
praying for you each and every time you go.
Thank you.
Well, like I said yesterday, we talked a little. I say a lot. We talked a lot about the book. Today we'll be breaking down the movie, and our first of 3. I can speak today. First of 3 books in a movie. So we will have 2 more this year. Dana gets to choose, and I get to choose. So we are discussing Amber's book in a movie this time around. So
Totally put me in
um,
this stuff. Oh man.
so this was like we'll break it down here in a minute, but like we talked about yesterday, this was star-studded. But Amber, go ahead and give us a little bit of info, a little background that you did some research on
Oh
about
yeah.
your movie.
So I can't remember when the book was published, but the movie came out in 1971. It totally has an all-star cast. We kind of touched on it yesterday with a baby Dennis Quaid and a baby Jeff Bridges and a little baby Cybill Shepherd, and Cloris Leachman is in it, and then some guy named Ben Johnson that everybody kept talking about. Whoever played Sam the Lion apparently was an older actor that was fantastic.
So did you figure out who my father's favorite actor was in this movie then?
No, Sam the Lion, Ben Johnson.
Ben Johnson. He was Oklahoma born and a rodeo star and in the Cowboy Hall of Fame, and you name it, Ben Johnson's
cool.
been there.
Yeah, like
Okay.
when you research like on Letterboxd and stuff, the comments are just like singing his praises, and I'm like, I've never seen that dude in my life. So
You probably did. You just didn't know it. He was in My Heroes Have Always Been Cowboys, Red Dawn, the original Red Dawn. And I'm going to now disown you because you have not watched the original Red Dawn. So
sorry, bud. I'm so sorry.
this is what we do to that right there.
Bring her back.
Bring me back. I have stats. This movie had a budget of $1.3 million, and at the box office, it made 29.1. So it did very well. It was nominated for 8 Academy Awards. They didn't have all of them, but the big ones were Best Picture, Best Director, Best Supporting Actor, and Best Supporting Actress. It won for Best Supporting Actress. Cloris Leachman, who played Ruth, won the award for that. And then the supporting actor was the Sam character, Ben Johnson, but he didn't win. So it did very, very well in its time.
Yeah, I would agree.
And on Rotten Tomatoes, it has a 98%. That matters.
There you go.
I totally wanted to open. Well, I wanted for our opening video to have a little bit of Hank Williams in it because that was felt like that was the entire soundtrack to the movie. So I wish I could have done that. I don't want any copyright infringements or any strikes like that.
Yeah.
So we didn't, but I enjoyed the soundtrack to this, and I think in a lot of ways, it really. I mean, we don't get the soundtrack obviously in the book, but I felt like the soundtrack really fit the movie itself. So I thought that was one of the. I wish it would have been nominated for like soundtrack or.
It might have. Wikipedia didn't list all 8, so I don't.
And I read something interesting about the soundtrack. So there's actually this term, which now I don't remember. It was totally foreign to me. But so apparently when they look at soundtracks, they look at is the music part of the movie because the characters are listening to it anyway, or is the music like just playing, and so the you watching the movie, you hear the music, but the characters don't hear the music. And in this movie, all of the music is heard by the characters.
Yes, I love that.
That's
I think
very interesting.
Isn't that interesting? Yeah.
And when I
there's a word for it.
I'll pay attention to that.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah. Well, most of the times the music is supposed to drive the movie in certain spots. So like, obviously Jaws, the dun is driving the movie. Yes, I love that in this one that the soundtrack is just them sitting in the truck, or JC's in her room and she's listening, or they go to
or at the dance or whatever.
It does the same thing though. It
does drive.
It's your emotions. I think it's an emotion thing too. So I didn't realize there was a distinction. That's really cool.
Yeah, I didn't either. Yeah, and like I said, there's actually term for the two different things, and I've just never paid attention to that in a movie about whether or not the characters are hearing the music at the same time.
Yeah, me. I love soundtracks movies, but now I'm going to know that for the rest of my life, Dana. I'm going to be like, that's cool. Person hear that song.
The more you know, ladies and gentlemen, the more you know. So what I like, I'll throw this out there and then we'll get really into it. But what I liked was in the book we get Sonny and Cher. I can't never remember her name. His
Casey?
Girlfriend.
Jason?
No. The girl he was with.
Oh. Right. Yeah. I can't remember.
Does anybody
Cher.
remember her name?
Yeah, I called her Cher because I can never remember her name.
Charlene?
Charlene. Yes, Charlene.
Yeah.
See, I was close. Sonny and Cher. Sonny and Charlene. That's close.
There you go.
I like because the book opens up immediately with them and almost darn near breaking up but I like the opening with the picture show, the dead street, so you already get a feel of what the town is already like. So cinematography is one of my biggest things when it comes to movies. It's not just about, oh, this movie's great because Bill was the star. It's got to be more than just Bill being the star. It's got to be cinematography. It's got to be soundtrack. It's got to be dialogue. It's got to be everything, because some people will tell you it's a 5-star movie and it's just because their favorite actor was in it. So
well, if that's how they want to rate it, that's fine. But no, ratings are subjective. I'm not talking about being Roger Ebert. I'm saying if somebody wants, that's how they rate a movie, it's okay. You guys don't listen to Dash. He tries to gatekeep things. You can based on your
I just,
favorite
it's just,
actor.
if you're going to give me a review of a movie, you can't say it's a 5-star because Bill is in there. Give me a 5-star because you like the action or you like the way the movie was played out and the writing was good. If Bill is in there, sure, it could be a great movie, but I mean, I love Tom Cruise, but he's had some stinkers, y'all. Okay, he's had some stinkers. Let's not pretend. But yeah, cinematography was a big thing in this movie for me. And while it's come a long way since 1971 cinematography itself. I think for the time, it really did a wonderful job of showing you what the town was like and the people were like. So I felt the
Mhm.
way they shot this right off the bat was one of the best things about this movie.
Yes.
Yep.
Later after the show, I'm going to post a picture of the movie poster. And there's a couple of movie posters, but the one I'm going to post in the comments is probably one of my favorite movie posters of all the movies I've ever seen ever. And I think the movie poster does a brilliant job of letting you know what that movie's going to be about and how you're going to feel in the movie. Or how these characters feel or whatever. It's the whole thing I think is just really well done. And I understand what you say about cinematography because to me, movies have to be aesthetically pleasing. Like
Absolutely.
I need to just be able to sit in there. And the fact that in 1971, they filmed this in black and white when they had plenty of color film. I don't think this movie could have been filmed in color. I think it had to be bleak. I said that over and over again, how bleak these characters were in this town was. And I think the black and white just really fed into that for sure.
I wholeheartedly agree. It was one of my questions for you guys today was, what did you think of the black and white? And you nailed it right there. I think, I I think you're right. I don't think if this was in color, I would have enjoyed it as much because the it's visually beautiful in black and white, and uh, I don't think you would have caught that. I think it wouldn't have translated as well. What do you think, Dana?
Well, I think the black and white feels authentic. Like it feels like it's telling the truth. So then that's getting to what, Amber said. It's the bleakness of the place and of the characters' lives. And I don't know, color would have felt too lively. Like there was too much life there.
Yeah,
And
for
so
real.
the black and white felt, and it also gave it that, more of that 50s vibe.
Yes.
If it would have been in color, it would have been like, well, maybe this happened last week. But black and white automatically threw you back to an earlier time. So
That's true. Do you remember? Did y'all see that movie Pleasantville with Reese Witherspoon and Toby Maguire? Have you seen it, Dana?
no,
Excellent. It's these two kids in modern day, and then they go somehow get transported to the 1950s where there's racism and just all these kinds of 1950s things happening. But then as the town slowly starts to change, more color gets brought in. So it's black and white at first, and then it becomes saturated with color. And this made me think of that for exactly what you were saying. If you started saturating it with color, it would add a little more liveliness to it, and there was no liveliness to this town, this movie. So.
No, and there shouldn't be because, like we said yesterday, the town is dying even before we get to our characters. So, what was one of the first things that you noticed right off the bat, Dana, that wasn't matching up with the book? Although we don't have to go into. We already talked about all the R-rated stuff. We don't have to go too much into it. But
Cows.
Exactly. I was going to say the lack of some of the book's content. And at first I was thinking, oh, well, maybe they left that out because of, whatever those laws were about what was and wasn't proper to be seen on the screen. But then there were other things that I was like, well, maybe not. Maybe it was just distasteful and they thought, we're just not going there.
Well, I think a lot. Yeah, I think a lot of it was you didn't need it for it to translate.
Right.
You didn't need the some of that stuff to translate. And yeah, right. I'm sure that there's probably a law against bestiality in
Yeah.
movies.
Decency laws, isn't that what they
Decency
call
laws.
them?
Yeah,
Decency
decency
laws.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By 1971, they were already getting lax, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Right.
still gross.
Yeah. Right.
We're not going to rehash the cow talk anymore.
No, we're not.
They did talk about it. The boys mentioned
they
it
did.
and tell a little
Yeah, it was-
anecdote about it, but then we move
Right.
on.
But I confess I was watching the movie kind of like this, like, oh gosh, here it comes, here it comes, here. And I was like, oh, they didn't do it.
Me too. I was like, I know there's going to be cows.
That and yeah. You heard them.
So that was what I
think you
noticed.
heard mooing. I'm pretty sure that I heard mooing at one point in the movie, but they never. So, how about you, Amber? What was something that you picked out?
I have a couple of things, but one of the things I meant to tell you guys yesterday, did y'all notice? Okay, so when they force poor Billy to lose his virginity or try to, whatever, with this woman who gets paid for doing those, I'm trying not to get kicked off here, with a woman that gets paid for doing those kinds of things. In the book, she was fussing about her husband or her boyfriend, but he ran off to Bossier City, Louisiana. Did you
Yes.
That's where I live. I was cracking up.
Notice that.
It's Bossier City, Louisiana in a book. It's not a big area, you guys. Anyway, I thought that was funny. Two things that stuck out to me were character kind of background that helped make the rest of the story make sense that the movie dropped. And the first one being Coach and Ruth's relationship. I even though obviously Ruth, Cloris Leachman did a great job, and Ruth was very prominent in the movie, I felt like they did her a disservice by not explaining how much of a jerk her husband was. And you kind of get it a little bit, but I really felt like they could have put more of Coach Popper being an ass in that, and they didn't. And the other thing is Jim Bob taking the little girl. In the book, you get a little bit of background of his dad and all of his dad's over-the-top religious fanaticism or whatever it's called. And so you not that you agree with Jim Bob, but you kind of understand how he snapped a little bit. Yeah. So those things made sense to me watching the movie, but if I had not read the book, I don't know if I might have been like, well, why? All of a sudden we have this Jim Bob kid that we only saw for 2 minutes, and now he's kidnapping a little girl. So,
and in the book, wasn't he picked on a little bit more too, just by his friend group?
Oh, no, he more than just picked. Yeah, more than just.
But he's in there a lot more.
Yes.
Yeah. They cut a lot of him.
He's just. Like,
okay.
I think again, it's another. I think another reason that, but yeah, I think cut way too much out on Jim Bob. They cut way too much out on Coach Popper. We don't get the full aspect of Higgins as the teacher.
He's not in there at all.
Yeah. He's in there for that first class, and that was Higgins from Magnum PI, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. Higgins from Magnum PI. Yes. But you get him for that first class, and then he's gone. And I to me, that was a vital part in the book to understand why us as readers were very upset with Coach Popper in the first place. That was one of the, not only Ruth Popper, but what he did to the teachers. So it lost some context, and I get it that probably people were supposed to have read the book before, but I still think you need a little bit of context there. But I agree with those two. I just, like I said, one of the things that I liked was the opening, and the second thing that I noticed was they really toned down. I think they even toned down. To me, they toned down JC's mom from the book.
Really?
I think they toned her down a little bit because. Hello, Dustin.
Hi.
Yeah, I think they toned her down. That's me. I think Ellen Burstyn did a great job of playing Lois, but to me in the book she was a lot more sassier, a lot more snooty. She was an Edmondite, as we like to call them here in Oklahoma. She was an Edmondite, very snooty, very
rich city, Dana.
Very pompous, very. I am who I am, and I don't care who you are type person. So.
Yeah, I think she's a little bit meaner in the book than she was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's
especially with after the scene with JC and what's the guy's name?
Abilene.
Abilene, you know, she's in the book. I felt like she was really mean, whereas in the movie, I mean, she ain't winning Mom of the Year, but
no.
But I did feel more sympathetic toward her in the movie than I did the book. That's not saying a lot because sympathy is a strong word for what I felt for her, but I did feel like the book portrayed her as more callous towards her daughter.
Oh, definitely more callous. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, that's why I said they toned her down in the movie a lot. A lot. I feel like, but I still have a lot of disdain for the character, which is good. I mean, he did his job. He did what he was supposed to do and get me to dislike Lois. But that was one of the things I noticed. That for overall, I thought, you know, they did what they. I think they did what they could with the budget and time constraints and whatnot for the movie. So, but as we said yesterday, ultimately this book and movie are about Dwayne and Sonny and JC, and I think we got our what we wanted from, at least in the movie. I think we got what we wanted from Dwayne and Sonny and JC.
Yeah, that was the other thing with the lack of Coach Popper scenes in the movie. JC is definitely the clear antagonist villain
in the movie. Yeah,
because I said that Coach Popper was my number one in the book, but all of that was cut.
Yeah.
So the movie is definitely this is about JC, Dwayne, and Sonny in this small dying town.
And I just have a feeling she's going to be worse than her mom. I mean, like we said, we don't know where the characters go after, but I have a feeling she's going to be worse than her mother. Because there was no lesson taught to her.
Yeah, but people can learn those later in life. We don't know. I'm just guessing.
I mean, because we see clear growth after the fight with Dwayne and Sonny. We see a clear growth with Dwayne and how he reacted. And we see Sonny kind of grow for the most part. But again, with JC, I don't think there was ever any inclination that she would grow.
On the other hand, she's getting out of town. You know, she is going on to bigger things. So
to be a bigger meanie pants. Yes.
Maybe.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but you know, maybe, I mean, if like you said yesterday, like if the town is really the problem, maybe if she's out of that environment, then she stands a chance.
Away from her parents, away from her mom, away from her dad, away from the negative vibes from that town. You could be absolutely right. And I do hope that she became a better person.
And out there with something to do, because Amber said, you know, I think you said yesterday, don't let me misquote you, but like this is a lot about boredom, right?
Yeah.
So maybe
for sure.
She's someplace where she's got stuff to do, and like, you know how, I don't know, y'all, I came from a really small town and I thought the whole world kind of looked like that until I got out a little bit. And I mean, I still haven't gone far, but I'm like, wow, there's a lot that I didn't know existed, right? So you get out of the small town and you start looking around and go, I got options. I got a lot of options I didn't even know I had. So I just always feel like hope for somebody who gets out there.
Yeah.
So.
I liken it to when we went down to Durant the other day, and you go through some of these small towns, and there's and I don't mean to pick on small towns, but there's a liquor store and a pot store on every corner. Literally, I mean, because it's when we were to me, Choctaw was small when we were growing up. I mean, we hung out at Sonic or Dude's Hamburgers,
Mazzio's,
Mazzio's,
Mazzio's every Friday,
That's where we hung out, and now Choctaw's exploded and is one of the bigger cities.
But where we grew up, though, you have Oklahoma City, and I'm just going straight I-40. So it's like Oklahoma City, and then Midwest City is a suburb of Oklahoma City, and it's a bit smaller. And then you got Choctaw that's a little bit smaller. So even though Choctaw was small, we could hop on I-40 and get to Oklahoma City in like 25 minutes or whatever.
Yeah,
so I never felt like I never felt like we lived in a town like that. Because Midwest City is more like Charlottesville now or something, Dana. So you know what I mean? And then you have Oklahoma City is more like Dallas. So then it just gets bigger as you keep going.
Choctaw's bigger than Midwest City now. Choctaw.
Yeah. Every time I go home and I drive out there, it's grown so much. I mean, there's a street light now, or a couple of them.
Couple of street lights. We don't have to ride in our horse-drawn carriages and tractors anymore. No, but yeah, it's almost bigger than Midwest City as far as population goes.
That's crazy.
So
This makes me think of have you ever read any of see y'all, I hate this brain that I have now. Prince of Tides
yeah.
author, help
Oh,
South Carolina. What'd you say?
No, it's Pat.
Anyway,
Pat Conroy. Is it Pat Conroy?
Pat Conroy. Yes. Okay. So Pat Conroy also. So he wrote this autobiographical book, and I'm not going to come up with the name of it right now. But when he was young, he taught at a school out on one of the islands off of the coast of South Carolina. It was a very insular community. The only way to get there was on a boat. And most of these kids had never been off the island.
Oh
ever.
my gosh.
And they're using textbooks that are years and years and years old and that have been passed down to them from the predominantly white schools on the mainland. And he's sent out there to teach. And it was almost like a one-room schoolhouse kind of situation. And the big thing that he did during his year or so that he taught there was he got the kids off the island.
Yeah.
He got them on a boat and he took them to the mainland. And I forget now what they even did. It wasn't anything huge or expensive or, hard to do, but he got them off the island and he talks in the book about how it was life-changing for them just to see that other things existed.
They went from that island to Paris Island and all became Marines.
The water is wide.
Thank you. That's it. Yes.
Yeah.
It's
Pat
a great
Conroy
book.
Is a fantastic author.
Oh, fantastic. I love his stuff. But anyway, it's all about this that we're talking about. Just, that like when your horizons get a little bit bigger, there's hope. So that's another reason, we talked yesterday about, is this a hopeful book or not? And I think it is, just because a couple of them get broader horizons.
Yeah. They at least like I said, we know that Dwayne gets out of town. We know that JC gets out of town. Things like that. So I think that there is hope in the book as much as I'm kind of with you. I felt like it was nihilistic at times.
Yeah.
But the overall. But did you feel like there was anybody miscast in this?
I'm really bad at this.
Yeah, Timothy Bottoms as Sonny. You had I felt like they did a good. I mean, like I said, I like to look at the casting and I like to see how they, if the character fits. And I, for one, personally would not have changed anybody in this. Again, you got, man, Jeff Bridges does such a good job. Like you could literally, even before I'd seen the movie, you could probably picture Jeff Bridges in that. That's just how good of an actor Jeff Bridges is. And I mean, he's gone on, he goes on to be one of the biggest stars in the world anyways. So, and Cybill Shepherd was great. I think, God, I wouldn't change it.
No, I wouldn't either. Dennis Quaid, is it Randy Quaid?
No, Randy Quaid.
Randy Quaid, to me, did not look like Lester. I thought Lester was going to look a lot more handsome and put together, but I love me some Randy Quaid, so I was okay with him on the screen.
Yeah, the only thing missing was shitter's full, Clark. I know. You know what? In the movie, I felt like Lester was more of a doofus than he was in the book.
I don't think he was supposed to be a doofus, but Randy Quaid always has that goofy kind of, it's just lovable thing about him.
Dennis Quaid probably would have been the better brother to put there instead of.
Yeah, but he's younger than Randy. Huh?
Yeah, he's no, I don't know. I can't remember who's the older one. I can't remember who's oldest. But there's probably a lot of names you wouldn't recognize, but I guarantee you when you're watching this movie, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of faces you would recognize because, again, there's just, Timothy Bottoms goes on to star in The Paper Chase and
he becomes a producer. Are you talking about Sonny? The guy who played Sonny?
Yeah, the guy who played Sonny.
Yeah.
His brother, his younger brother, who actually played Billy.
Right.
His brother was there.
Alike.
He played in Apocalypse Now and some other stuff. Unfortunately he passed away not too long ago, I believe. But he was the younger brother. But they both were like producers and big in Hollywood as far as behind the scenes go. So like I said, we have a Oklahoma legend and Cowboy Hall of Fame. It's just I just everything about that. I thought the casting was. If I was to redo this today, I would try to find the people that encompass exactly who they are, and not just go out and randomly pick people to play the parts.
So let me ask you this: can you make this movie today? Can you remake the Last Picture Show and it still be as impactful in 2026? What year are we in?
Yeah, I think you could. I mean, the reason I say that is because period pieces seem to do rather well no matter what. So, and overall, I don't think there's anything in today's world that would get them canceled.
Well, would you still set it in 1950, or
Yeah,
would
yeah,
you
I would still set it in
modernize
19. I would still set it in 1950. I wouldn't touch it. I wouldn't colorize it. I would, again,
Mhm.
I say this knowing that I can't do this. B, that I dislike rehashes, remakes, and things like that. I dislike them.
I think it's an interesting question of what if.
But it is
What
a
would you
good
do?
question, and I think again, I
Mhm.
think you could do it. I think there's nothing in there that would cause a bunch of pearl
Yeah.
clutching, because nowadays we've seen a lot
What?
worse in movies. Um,
Leave out the cows. I was clutching my pearls all over that book.
well, I get that, but you know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying. There wasn't any like racism stuff
No, there
or
wouldn't
any
be
of that
anything
in
that would. I think you could do it, but again, if I were to go do this, I would find people that encapsulate Sybil Shepherd
there.
and Timothy Bottoms and Jeff Bridges. You want and Cloris Leachman. God, I love Cloris Leachman in this. And she, I kind of got in the book like she wasn't that pretty. I mean, she was pretty, but she wasn't Ellen Burstyn pretty.
Lois. Yeah.
But Cloris Leachman was always to me. I always thought Cloris Leachman was a beautiful woman. So I thought she just did so well in this movie. So.
Hmm.
Would you remake it, or would you just leave it alone? I personally, I want this left alone. I'd never want a remake of anything unless.
I don't think you need to remake it. I think it can stand as it is, but I think you could, and I also think you could modernize it because at the end of the movie, when he goes to the picture show for the very last time, and it's the last day, and Mrs. Mosley or whatever her name is going to close it, and she makes that little speech about how everybody has TVs now. Nobody wants to go to the theater, and that's the same conversations we're having. Eric and I went to the movies Friday night to see a new release, and there were 4 people in that theater, and we were 2 of them. And it's just wild. It's wild to me that we love the theater, but I think you could take a small town. There's plenty of small towns in the rural America that have a movie theater that are dying, and I think you could modernize it a little bit. Do they need to remake it? No, but I think they could.
Yeah, I think they could, but I wouldn't want it. Hey, listen to Hollywood. Get some originality. Go do something new.
But not to go off on a tangent about remakes, I don't mind remakes from movies like from 1971 because sometimes it brings in a different audience, a younger audience that may not
We're already seeing that these
radar.
younger audience. Here's my point. I think we're seeing that the younger audience doesn't care anymore. They don't, because like you just said, you went to the movie theater and there was 4 of you. I don't think they care. I saw a good thing today, and I'm not disagreeing.
To go to the theater. I'm just talking about in general. No, I don't have a problem with remakes because you're bringing in a whole new audience.
Right.
Whether they watch it on Netflix or YouTube, it doesn't matter. That's not what I'm saying.
I'm not disagreeing with you in that aspect. Some things are fine, but I watched something today that was pretty cool, and now I kind of understand where he's coming from. Gen X and millennials, for the most part, when we were growing up, we only had 4 or 5 channels. Then we went to kind of 36 channels. We were the first cable babies. And even though cable had been around since the 40s, we were really the first cable babies. So we were, we had 4 or 5 channels at first, and then we had 36, and that's about it. So we were when they started expanding some of these channels, they had to fill in with some of these movie channels with the Last Picture Show. They had to fill it in with things from the 50s, 60s, and 70s. They had to fill in those time slots. And I was like, man, that makes so much sense. Nowadays, we have YouTube, we have Hulu, we have Netflix, all these channels, and there's thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of different things that they can watch that they won't, so they're not going to be accustomed to some of the movies that we watched. We can sit here and talk about the Last Picture Show and go, and we can all feel our way about making remakes when these kids are like, I've got 37 different movies about kung fu that I can go watch. I'm not stuck with just watching Bruce Lee movies on a Saturday afternoon. I now have Street Fighter. I now have all these other, you know what I'm saying? So that made perfect sense to me. I was like, that's a huge understanding. But also, again, just like you told me, I when I sent you that my Substack, you're like, it was too long. I didn't want to read it. The kids now, no,
one paragraph person.
Yeah, I get that, but that's what TV is today.
Mm-hmm.
Kids, I think these new audiences don't, and this is where I'm coming from, where I say they don't care. They would rather watch a 5-second TikTok video or a 30-second YouTube clip than go to the movies or go and watch actual TV. I still think it's a Gen X and millennial thing. And
maybe
boomers.
it's younger Gen Alpha then, because my Gen Zers love to go to the movie theater and they love to watch movies and they don't just watch their TikToks. And so I don't know if it's the way we raised them, but they go with their friends. So maybe it's the younger, like these teenagers.
When I say young, I don't even know what gen we're on right now. So that tells you where I'm at, right? I know Gen X, millennial, and boomers.
Alpha, I think.
So, my son would rather watch a 30-second clip on how to play a video game than go. He doesn't like the movie theaters, and he's what, 16.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I don't, but it makes sense. I understand where he's coming from, and I'm not saying when I say younger that I it's kind of like everybody says, all men are bad. I know not all men are bad. There's, but not all kids are alike. I totally get it. But I do believe upbringing. Yes, upbringing is part of it. We the girls. I got the girls watching 80s, 70s, and 80s shows. We watch Little House on the Prairie.
Mm-hmm.
We watch Mama's Family.
Mm-hmm.
We watch things like that, and they love it. Ellie's such an old soul that she's. I swear, tomorrow I could probably walk in the house and she's wearing what Mama is wearing. That's what Ellie would do because she relates to her. So I totally get it. But I think I wish we could. At times I kind of wish there wasn't so much out there for people to watch, so they could kind of see what we went through in a way. I feel like we had a great childhood. I feel like we had great movies. Even if it was from the 50s, we were watching Elvis. We were watching the Beverly Hillbillies, the Green Acres. We were watching those. And nowadays, you could go up to a high school student and go, "Hey, have you ever seen Beverly Hillbillies?" And they'll be like, "What?"
Mm-hmm.
They won't know what you're talking about.
That doesn't bother me because the gap between when that was out and them is so far. But I think, we can get back to the Last Picture Show.
Yes,
I think that TV is not a problem to me. Social media is not a problem. The problem is the 24/7 of it is the problem.
The quantity.
It doesn't shut down. If we go back to where at 10 p.m. American flag comes on and the Wi-Fi goes out or whatever, that may change a lot of things. But anyway, the question was, could you remake this movie today? And I say yes. Dana, what say you?
Yeah, I think you could, and I'm even wondering, like, if the relationship between y'all, I swear my brain, between Cloris Leachman, Ruth, thank you. Yeah. I'm wondering if that relationship that raised a lot of eyebrows, certainly would have raised eyebrows in the 50s. I think definitely in the 70s. I'm wondering if it would raise as many eyebrows now. I don't know.
He was a screener in 18, probably not.
Yeah. Well, I can't say that because listen, I read, I read a lot. I do a lot of things. I still think there's, maybe in 2026 with certain things that are going on in 2026 that everybody wants.
Well, that's
I
true
think
too.
I kind of think it would. Now that relationship might raise a little
That's
Raise a
true
little
too. I
son.
mean,
explore that in this movie. If he's a senior in high school, but say he's already turned 18,
right?
Right.
you know, you can.
Some
That
people,
movie
some
can explore.
people don't consider an adult until they're 21. You know,
Right.
I know I'm with you.
Right.
I'm not arguing. I'm not arguing
Yeah.
what you're
But
saying.
yeah, it would be an interesting thing to think about and to compare that to JC and Abilene, what goes on between them, because to me that felt much more 2026
Predatory.
predatory than
Yes.
the Ruth thing.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So
Absolutely.
Abilene would. I think
Oh my God. You have
you'd
got
have
a point because I'm sorry, Dash.
no. You'd almost have to make Abilene a post or 21, 22, 23-year old.
Much younger.
Yeah, you know, and you were going because yeah, you know, and see that's what I'm saying. Yeah, Abilene would have to be younger, and I
and if
think
he's younger, then the thing between him and JC's mom is weird.
yeah.
So
So
that's a great point because Larry McMurtry had Abilene, a grown man, and a teenage girl. She was probably 18 because I think she'd graduated at this point, but still. Um, and it was a scene and done. But Sonny and Ruth were like 6 months going strong. So there is a double standard in how that plays. And I think you could explore that a little bit today.
yeah.
I think you'd have to in that instance. I think you have to adapt, and that's why I say that when you have to adapt something, it almost takes the pleasure away from the original. Now, again, I'm not condoning what Abilene and all these parents are doing. I want to clear that straight up. I'm not condoning this, but the movie was made for a reason, and I don't want to have to. I don't want to have to change it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a Dash thing, and again, and not everybody's views and things are going to line up with mine. And I'm
Yeah,
cool
your
with
point
that.
is just like go watch the original. You
Right.
don't just watch the original.
Watch
Yeah.
the original and then
Yeah.
do
I
a
get
new
it.
movie on something else. That's Dash's thing, and
I get it.
it's a you know, I'm not saying I'm smart and
Your
But
little ticker down there says you are.
well, I mean I am all around smart guy, but don't worry about
Don't worry about
no.
me.
Don't worry about me. You just as long as we know that Amber at the end of the day, as long as we know that Amber's wrong at the end of the show, we're good.
You know what? I am already married to someone who lets me know I'm wrong.
he does not.
Done.
But no, you make valid points. I mean, very good, and I totally get. So I just don't see. That's why I say I don't know if I want it remade. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like the old adage of they're trying to bring, you know, I will go into Hollywood myself and fight everybody if they try to bring the Breakfast Club back. I don't want them to redo the Breakfast Club.
See, and that's a movie I don't think you can because I don't think cell phones in that you can't modernize the Breakfast Club at least because you can't.
It was definitely a product of its time.
Right.
Definitely.
And that's why I love it. You know, I don't want them to do that. They're trying to remake Escape from New York. I don't want them to do that. I don't want them
I didn't know
to
that movie.
I don't want them to modernize my movies. I don't want because
Well, the good thing is you don't have to watch it.
well, I totally don't have to watch it, but I still have to hear about it. Oh yes, I do.
Well, I mean, buddy. it's okay. You can come
I
on
live
the internet.
I live for drama. Don't you know that? I live for
I do
drama.
know you live for drama, and I think you
No.
stir the pot.
I do. I do. I do. I have my little stir stick around here somewhere. It's right here. No. I mean, you're right. There's a lot of times I do totally pass over things, and it's fine. I stirred the pot yesterday with a post, and I'm allowed to do that every once in a while. I don't do it every day. I stirred the pot. You had to come in. I think he's being no. That was straight up coping. That was coping and
you post
seething.
stuff just to be mean.
That
I'm
was
like,
coping and
oh my
seething for that person to
God,
post.
That was just unnecessary. But carry on.
I
That's
didn't
not-
post it. I just borrowed it from somebody else.
I know. Why? Why post something to be nasty? But anyway, that has nothing to do with it.
Because you get.
Because you get your clicks, and it's all about your. Yeah, I know. That's what Eric tells me. When I get irritated at your post, he goes, "He's just doing it for clicks, Amber."
Yeah, pops.
Anyway,
She calls me out every day, Pop. Have you not been to any of my posts? She calls me out. That's why we have our argument. We are so brother and sister. It's not even funny. We are so brother and sister. It's not even funny.
so
Get him,
That's
Amber.
fun. That's our dynamic, and that's why it works.
That's right.
If she didn't call me out, I would have to be like, "Are you okay?"
Why are you agreeing with me all the time? That would be terrible. Hey, speaking of things that they left out, can we talk about Genevieve?
Yeah,
She
sure.
does not have a big part in the book, but we all agree that she's fantastic. And she probably has one of the best moral centers of anybody because she has not tried to have sex with anybody in that town. And her husband got hurt at work. And instead of just stepping out on him, she went to work to help pay for the medical bill. Right.
Yeah.
And so we like Genevieve. And I wish I would have seen more of her
Right.
in the movie. Like there's that scene where the boys go to Mexico because they just have to get out of town and Sam gives them money. Well, in the book, Genevieve does too.
Genevieve does too.
Genevieve does too. Yeah.
She's like, you have to take my car or something like that. I don't think they do, but and I wish we would have seen more of Genevieve and her goodness and kindness in the movie.
I thought about that, and I feel like if they'd done it, would have almost it would have been made it too hopeful.
Mm.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you.
Genevieve was such a great character in the book. Great. I mean, even like you said, we get snippets of her. She's awesome the entire time she's in the movie. It's not very long, maybe 10 minutes total, I think, in the movie. But she is if Sam is the backbone, she's kind of the tendons and the muscle that keep the back together with Sam. And God, yeah, I think with her character, because again, I still see her as the drill sergeant, Private Benjamin, who's a big jerk. So, but I loved her in this. Eileen Brennan was so good in the movie.
Who was she in Clue?
I think we said it was Mrs. White was who it was. Because Doc from Back to the Future was Professor Plum, and Miss Scarlet was I can't even remember her name. But anyways, she was great in Clue too. So I love Eileen Brennan as an actually, but yeah, I think you can, am I wrong, Dana? Do you think it would have?
This is Peacock. Sorry.
Yeah.
Would it have changed things if there'd been more of her?
Yeah.
Made it
Do you think it would have made it too hopeful?
Maybe so. And because you're right, the few times that we do see her, you do sort of feel like a lift, like, isn't there a scene where maybe it's just Sonny comes in and she makes him a burger? Mm-hmm. And, you almost feel like he's seeing his mom.
Yes. She's a mother figure. That's
a mother figure. Yeah. And so you do, you're like, oh yeah, finally, like there's something good here. And maybe too much of that would have.
She put Sam in his place. She put Sonny in his place in that scene alone, by a look, just from a look.
Right.
She put Sam
throwing
and Sonny in their place.
Burger on a plate down on the table.
Yeah. And then because it's after the whole ordeal with Billy and Sam bans everybody from the pool hall and doesn't talk to Sonny, and Sonny's feeling that loss, and they happen to walk in the cafe at the same time, and Billy just runs right over because he doesn't know, and he runs right over to Sonny, and Genevieve just makes the burgers and stares at him, and Sam's like, okay, I guess if Billy is fine with you, I can be fine with you.
Right. Yeah.
And that's again, I think that's why I love Sam and Genevieve, because they are the father and mother of everybody. I feel like, because for the most part, we don't see Dwayne's family. We get to see one clip of like Amber puts Dash in his place. If Amber gave me that look, I would probably have to apologize to whoever came into the cafe. Shut up, Pops. Leave me alone. But they are the mother, because, like I said, we get just a snippet of Sonny's father, and that was so awkward. Even for the movie, I felt that was awkward.
Sonny's dad?
Yeah, that whole clip, that 5 seconds we get of his dad. Oh, hi, Sonny. Okay, bye, Sonny. That's really what it felt like.
It's really sad.
It was sad.
I think we get a lot more of I say a lot more. It's not like a whole part of the book, but we get a little bit more of what their dynamic is like in the book. And I, you
'Cause
know,
he doesn't hate his dad.
no, he doesn't. But
There's no
I
animosity
feel
there.
like if you watch the movie, you might actually get the feeling that he does hate his dad
Yeah, well, yeah, maybe. Hmm.
because of that awkwardness of that whole clip. I would have thought he doesn't want anything to do at all with his dad because of that just little 5-second meeting. And I wish they would explore that more because I think Sonny doesn't hate anybody. Sonny doesn't hate anybody in the town at all.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
But when you watch the movie, I feel like that part you kind of do, and but
I can
that's
see that.
it's a small thing. And I'm glad, for the most part, I'm glad the whole Joe Bob was over and done with like that. It was not a very they didn't
No,
have
it
to.
doesn't make sense though. I mean, I guess they're just trying to show everybody and their transgressions,
Yeah.
that as being forms of entertainment and just how low the town had sunk, I guess. But it doesn't make sense without more of him there.
It's lost the context is lost.
I know this is why I prefer it when Eric watches these with me because I can bounce that off of him. Like, I cannot remember what it is, but one time we did these and the movie was like, he was like, what? And I'm like, that's because they left out XYZ. So I like to know if he's tracking. And then sometimes he'll watch a movie because he doesn't read the books with us. He'll watch the movie and he's got it. Like there's enough in there where he's picked up everything. So, but was busy and didn't have time. So I was on my own but I'm going to make him watch it.
Listen, busy watching cars go around in circles is not busy. I'm kidding.
Well, when did I watch this? I think I watched it during the week. I didn't watch it on the weekend.
No, I totally get where he's coming from. I mean, because Lorraine and I are the same way.
Yeah.
We can, when we watch movies for the show, or even when we're watching certain things for Madness, and she'll be like, "What?" Because she'll hear us talking about a show or something on the Madness, and then she'll be like, "Well, you guys didn't talk about that," and I was like, "Because it was, it's the context is missing or something of that nature." So yeah, I totally get where you and Eric are coming from.
Yeah.
But I still felt the movie was good. I did
You
not.
know, the thing,
dislike
one
it.
thing I loved about the movie was the dialogue was almost lifted off the page of the book.
Yes.
Did Larry McMurtry adapt this? Do we know?
I could not
Not
tell you.
sure, but some of it was just word for word
Yeah,
from the
a lot
book,
of it was
and
word
I was
for
like,
word.
boy, that just shows you how good McMurtry is at writing dialogue. Like if you can lift it off the page and put it on the screen, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, really cool.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, I thought
Did
so.
he
That's
adapt
why.
it?
Yeah.
Him and the director did it together. They wrote the screenplay. So
Yeah. So that makes
Cool.
makes total sense because and just like we said yesterday with Lonesome Dove, and the one thing that McMurtry is so good at is character building and dialogue, and because you can character. I mean, it's just like when you guys have read some of my stuff and you guys hand it back and you're like, it doesn't kind of make sense or things like that. I think you have to be able to do that. You have to be able to. You can have great characters, but if they don't talk real and they don't talk like like you're portraying the character, man, you can get lost and get out. It'll take you out of it. And
unrealistic dialogue drives me insane.
looking at you.
I don't write dialogue. Are you looking at me?
What's that dragon one we've been reading?
What?
The cross, the dragon, the most recent Yabara, I think.
Are you reading the Fourth Wing?
Oh,
Fourth Wing? That's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, I read Fourth Wing.
Yeah,
But I don't want to. We're not.
Yeah, I don't want to get into that one.
No, we're not gonna get that. But I think sometimes it takes you out of it. But yeah, so yeah, you're right, Dana. Get back on topic because we're on our 27th tangent. The dialogue is almost word for word, and that's what I like about. And I'm going to go on a tangent here. That's what I like about A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, the one that's on HBO, the Game of Thrones.
Show you've been watching?
The show I've been watching. It's almost word, and I love it because you can almost know exactly where you are in the short, because these are short stories. So yes, of course these episodes are going to be 30 minutes long because it's a short story. You're not going to get hour-long episodes, but they do so well with the dialogue, and that's what I love. Again, so I'm right there with you. I love that you know exactly what Dwayne's going to say here. You knew the minute uh, uh, Ruth reaches over and grabs his collar at the end, you knew exactly what she was going to say.
Yeah. So speaking of dialogue, the funniest part of this whole story for me was when JC and Sunny eloped to Oklahoma to get married. And JC leaves her parents a note, and for people that don't know, she has it set up because she knows her parents are going to either stop them or have the marriage annulled or whatever, and so she's not really worried about it. She's just JC being JC, right? But Sunny thinks this is all for real. So they're in Oklahoma getting married, and every time they come across somebody, they're like, "Oh, what part of Texas are you from? Oh, what part of Texas are you from?" And it's only a couple of times in the movie, but the book, it was over and over again. And I was cracking up because I'm not from Texas, but every time I meet somebody that says they're from Texas, I'm like, "Oh, what part of Texas are you from?" Because Texas is huge. There's East Texas, there's the Panhandle, there's it's like a whole world, just Texas. So I just thought that just made me giggle. I thought that was so great.
What I love about that part is you actually get to see her facial expression. Like you don't catch some of the nuance of what she's doing in the book, but in the movie you see her. She's like, you really see her scrunch her face,
like,
or
"You're married now. Let's consummate this thing." And she's like, "Oh, let's just wait," because she knows her dad's going to show up.
She's like, "Oh, I sure hope my dad and mom aren't following us when the cop turns around."
Yeah.
So I love that. I thought that was really special to add to the movie to really drive home how she really was. And
she did great.
Cybill was
so well.
Yeah, I think all of the like I said, all the actors were on point. Well, that's. I mean, anything else we want to add?
I don't think so.
Glad we watched it. Glad we read it.
Yeah, I'm glad we read it.
Does Tim watch these with you?
No, he didn't watch this one. No. Yeah, he might like he wouldn't read the book, but he might like the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't read the book again, but I'm glad I did.
I'm not gonna read it again.
I think I will rewatch the movie. I know a lot of people that won't rewatch the movie or read the book again, but I will watch the movie again. I thought it was really well done. This is a movie that I can add into my classics where you can. It's a good. I think it's a good rewatch just because, again, like I said, this is one of those rare moments where the casting and everything just aligned perfectly. I think.
Yeah.
Like there's tons of movies I love out there, but sometimes I'm like, the cast could be a little different, or I don't quite understand why that person's playing that person, but I still love the movies. But this is one of those perfect, the stars aligned, the planets were aligned. Yes, Pluto was in there at this time. Venom Schnupp. But yeah, it's definitely a rewatch for me. So let me get the final rating for you. If you were on Letterboxd or whatnot, what would you give it, Amber?
I was already on Letterboxd. You know, I go straight.
I did not look at the movie one.
I watch a movie, and Eric and I watch a movie, and we immediately grab our phones. We were in the theater Friday night on Letterboxd rating the movie we just watched. We love it.
I didn't look on it specifically because I
want to say that I love that the movie took out all of the things that drove us crazy with the teenage boy sex stuff, right? I'm glad it took out all of that. The movie also helped me to appreciate the book a lot more of what Larry McMurtry was trying to do, how he was trying to show this town and just what happens when these people are stuck here and what they have to do in life. So I loved how the movie helped flesh out the book for me. The book I gave 3 stars. The movie I am giving 4 stars. And it goes on my very short list of movies that I like better than the book.
Very good.
Look at that. That's cool.
Watch it again because
you guys,
Eric and rewatch it.
It got a little cold outside. I'm just saying. It got a little cold outside. I never thought I would hear it. What about you, Dana? What do you give the overall movie?
Yeah, for me, it's a 4-star as well. And really the clincher for me was the end with Sonny and Ruth, and also as hard as it was to watch the scene where Billy dies,
Mhm.
it I was so invested in that scene. And I, even though I knew what was about to happen, I mean, I knew what was coming, and I still went
Yeah.
when I was watching the movie and cried
Yeah.
because it was just brutal, but like brutal just because it sort of brings the whole thing to a head, and you just see how hard it is to live there. And at that point I was thinking this is a really awful movie because Sonny is stuck here in this town that kills Billy, and yet then it ends with Ruth and saying basically it's gonna be all right, kid.
Yeah. Oh, honey.
So yeah, so yeah, I
Yeah,
was
that
just
was her
all
way
in.
of saying it's all going to be fine.
It's all
And
gonna be okay.
I feel like
Yeah.
Sonny and Ruth probably ended up together anyway. So, um,
So anyway, I just thought it was like it just really pulled you in. If you were even up to that point, if you were just like, I'm not sure what's going on with this movie, for me, it just all kind of came together right there. So
very cool.
Yep.
Oh, Harry Potter's around. I gave it a 4.5, just like I did the book. Both parts, both the book and the movie, upset me at the same time with the same part, and that's Billy. I just, man, I was probably a little bit more upset with the movie how because you finally see it played out. You see the callousness and the coldness of the people, and to actually watch Sonny pick him up off the ground. I just it really angered
With the sheriff
me. Yeah,
there. That's what
yeah,
blows my mind. The sheriff's doing nothing.
yeah, it angered me to the point where I was like, oh, but it was so good. That's so that you know that they did what
Yeah.
they were set out to do, and to me that makes a good movie. So I give it a 4.5 and a 4.5, book and movie. Um, I'm going to go off script here and say I'm not with Amber. I think the book is still better than the movie, but I think both of them have a place in media and in my collection. So this is a book I will keep in my collection, and it's a book or a movie that I will rewatch. So that says a lot.
very cool.
All right, before we go, I got a couple ads, and then we'll get out of here. First up, we got my good friend Nem David has got his Space Monkeys. Let's watch the ad. All right, you can find Space Monkeys on Kickstarter at this moment. Go back it. I believe it's still up and available. Lots of great add-ons with it. I know he's got stickers. He's got uh, statues, coffee mugs, all in there. So go back Kickstarter. Like I said, Space Monkeys. You'll find it there. And our last ad is for my good friend Chris. Chris, I hope you're out there watching. We have Jake Bishop. Yeah,
Very
you can.
cool.
Yeah, you can find Fountain of Shadows, a Jake Bishop story on Backer Kit. Again, another one where you can find picture or stickers and wonderful add-ons. He's got some great characters in there. I've already read this. I was already so in depth in the book that I didn't even notice if he had any clerical or mistakes or grammar errors. It was so good. You can find that on Backer Kit, A Fountain of Shadows. Go back in. I know that's going for a little bit longer, so time is running out on both of these Kickstarters and Backer Kit books. But support your yeah. He and Pop said there were none. He proofed it. I know you did. So you can back them, give them some love, support your local indie authors. Just like you support your local small businesses. We're the same thing, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back in a couple of weeks for our March, February reading roundup. We'll be back in March for our February reading roundup. We have a wonderful book called, I have it right here. Hold on.
Magic.
Yeah.
Deep and Drowning?
Yeah, that's it. A Magic, Deep and Drowning by Hester Fox. We've got that coming up soon. That'll be our March read. I know we've got a couple of other books. I haven't picked my April book yet, I think, because I know we got our May one.
I just had to help out my library girl. It's a new release, and I didn't know what the hold situation was going to be like for her.
I will let you guys know, but let you guys know what April is. I'm trying to go. We've had fiction, and you got a fiction, so I may have to go non-fiction for the April because we got.
That's good.
Cool.
Yeah, I think so. I'll find something non-fiction for us. We'll be back this Sunday. I said Eric. We're not football anymore. Chris and I will be back Sunday with Creators Corner. We got some great creators coming on. I have no idea what we're talking about, but it's sure to be fun, and there's probably going to be a lot of tangents like there was in this show. You can catch Tuesday Morning Brew with Lori tomorrow morning. We've got all good stuff. It's Freaking Figures on Tuesday night. I think tonight we've got on Pilled. We're watching Fallout. So we got lots of shows coming up on the Madness. Check us out. You can follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, whatever it's called. We got the debut of NEMS Gaming before the Brew. So there you go. The debut of NEMS Gaming before the Brew. You can catch Nem in the AM, his radio style talk show. And on Mondays and Fridays, that's always fun. Get to listen to some old 80s, 70s, the good music before the 90s ruined everything, ladies and gentlemen. No, I'm kidding.
Gosh.
But so much is on the Madness. Like I said, go follow us on Facebook. You can follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Pilled. We're all over the place. And we are on Roku. If you haven't checked it out, you got a Roku, go find the Roku or find Madness on Roku. Follow us. All of our shows are on on Roku after we've aired on all these platforms. So if you missed the live showing, you can check us out on Roku with the replay. Even this show right here, you can see our bright and shining faces. So other than that, like I said, we'll be back. Thank you, ladies, as always. This was a great book and great movie review, and we will see you guys soon.
Bye.
Bye. See ya.
If you missed the live viewing of any Meg production, you can find all our content on Roku or as a member of this channel. Madness Entertainment Group.